Welcome to KGRA Digital Broadcasting Radio. You're listening to Mystical Awakenings Radio with Deb and Arjay. I'm Arjay and that's Deb. And welcome, everyone. Tonight we're going to do a little something different. We're going to have a Q&A. If you guys any questions on anything paranormal, or it doesn't have to be paranormal, but whatever you want to ask,
UFO, spiritual.
Yeah.
We're open to many things. Not everything, but many things. And I want to say hello to Timothy Mullins, all the way from Windsor, Ontario. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Jim.
Marco and Tiffany,
Terry.
Our soul daughter, and Terry and Donna. See, most of the time we don't have the comments up here, so we can't see them. But since we're doing the Q&A tonight, we can see them. So I'd kind of like to give a little shout out to the Old Mill Museum in Dundee, Michigan. We are heading there tomorrow for the Old Mill Parafest. I believe this is year number 9.
Wow.
It's a great event. Paranormal people are so awesome. What other field do you see that does all these kinds of things to raise money for animals and museums and all kinds of historical things? It's amazing. I love our field. But
the location itself is very cool. It's an old mill with a river and the wheel and the whole bit.
Yeah. And the museum is actually haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way.
No.
It's definitely a good way. So everybody, come on by, say hello. Every ticket that is paid for helps the museum stay in operation. And if you see it, you'll know what we mean. It's adorable. So,
and this is a very cool guest going to be there. Of course, we get to lead things off in the morning about 10 o'clock. And I hope they like UFOs for breakfast, because that's what they're going to get.
Yes.
On flying saucers, breakfast on flying saucers.
So let's address this, and then we'll get back to the other stuff. Can spirits occupying the same space be unaware of the other while we are aware of both? Boy, I would say intelligent spirits, probably not. They vibrate at the same rate. So if there's intelligence there, I would think they would be aware of other spirits. If it's residual or something, then no.
No, yeah. But if they're conscious, they would be aware. They'd be aware of it.
Right. And hi, Rob. It would all, spirits are as individual as humans, or, living beings. So
third dimensional beings. Yeah.
Right.
They're living too.
They're living too, just in another dimension. So I would say if it's the same type of spirit and they vibrate at the same frequency, then most likely they would be aware of one another. I think there's a whole, of course, universe of spirits, and they probably hang out and talk. And I know sometimes when I'm doing mediumship readings, it can be kind of comical, because family members will, show up for one person. And sometimes they start carrying on conversation, and it makes it really difficult to do the reading because they're talking to one another. And sometimes
we're trying to overtalk.
Right. And sometimes when my sitter is asking something, they discuss it among themselves before they'll give an answer. So that tells me they're pretty aware of one another.
No, you're not talking about babysitter, are you?
Talking about
sitter.
No.
Okay.
Client.
All right. Just thought I
used to call them sitters, now call them clients. You know, the people I'm doing the reading for. Funny guy. He's always so funny. Punny and funny.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see, is there more? Jack Mercer.
Hey,
so
Jack.
Good to see you. I'm glad you stumbled across us too. It's been a long forever.
Time,
yeah.
Since Flower of Life.
Right. And our last Flower of Life was about 4 years ago.
Yeah, that may be trying to happen again.
We're working on it. Different location, but you know, we're working on it. So yes, if anybody wants to ask us anything, feel free. If not, we always have things to talk about. Again, we'll be in Dundee this coming weekend. And yes, we are speaking on UFOs. Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
How to spot them, what you do when you do spot them, how to report, things like that. So that, you have to buy a ticket and come.
Yeah.
John, no, Tenny is not going to be there.
No, he won't be there. Yep.
Tim Shaw will be there.
Yep.
Amber Rose Hammond will be there. She's amazing. I love listening to her talk about her books. She's quite the researcher. XC Suzanne Smith will be there. Tim Woolworth. He will be speaking most likely on IPC, but I'm not positive. Who am I missing?
Adam.
Oh, Adam. Adam. I always Wysecki. I always screw it up, but we adore Adam, and he's a beautiful flutist on top of being the Black Swamp medium.
Yes.
And a paranormal investigator. Have you had any feedback on the clip you posted of the something in the sky here in Houghton Lake? Well, we had tons of feedback.
Yeah.
And we will be showing that clip on Saturday. Do we want to give information yet?
Well,
or wait?
It's just that, there was different stuff that people came up with. And, we can't say that they were wrong, but it does conflict with some of the stuff that we eventually went back on.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can't say 100% that it was a UFO, but we can't say that it wasn't either.
Right. There is no proof at this point of anything.
Right.
There are some guesses.
The important thing is that we wanted to show you that if you see something, it's important to get out there and get a camera on it. Now, I'll tell you, Deb and I will not win an Oscar for cinematography for filming.
No,
we're just not that good. But we tried, and that's the main thing. And and then we just let the people, be the judge. But it was definitely interesting. So,
yeah. And one of these weeks we'll play it on the air for you guys. It's only like 3 minutes and 21 seconds. It is on YouTube. It's on our Mystical Awakenings podcast on YouTube, so you can look it up. There's no proof of anything, and that's what makes it difficult. So we know what we feel, and we'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
So hi, Justin and Dana. My buddy Dana, I miss you. Were there any more reports about the anomaly in the sky that you filmed? There were other reports. I think there was one other report that day. I had 4 or 5 people that sent me photos of things they saw that day. One was actually right here in Houghton Lake. So
other people noticed it.
yeah, it was noticeable.
Yeah.
So did they report to MUFON or anything? I guess I don't know. I don't think so.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's hard for me to read that.
Deb Simpson says, it's interesting how lately we've had lots of UFOs in our area. Glad I got those photos to you from my cousin.
Yes. And that's another one, Deb. I'm trying to remember now. She's in Canada. So, could it be the same? I mean, honestly, we're not that far apart. But
No.
I don't remember what day that sighting was.
I want to say, that's not right.
Yeah. She'll send it.
Yeah.
She'll send it.
I can't remember. It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. So, Melissa, if you wanted to contact a past loved one, like a very old ancestor, do you think there is a limit on how far back you could contact? Do you think it's possible to contact like a second, third, fourth grandparent? I know for a fact that it is possible. Not always do people come through when you want them to, but you can contact them. Be persistent. Let them know that you want to talk to them. Oftentimes when I do readings, ancestors come through not because they're asked for, but because they want to. So, some people will tell you that after so long, they can no longer contact us. I have not found that to be true. So I don't know. I wouldn't know what the limit would be. So, yeah, I believe you can definitely contact ancestors.
Yeah, because you got to remember in the spirit world, in the different dimension, different frequencies, the time is different. There's no, there's not time like we have it here.
Right.
That doesn't, really have an impact on it, how far back, how far forward you want to go, whatever. So, so it's very much different. The time it's,
it's more interesting when you're trying to contact the future.
Yeah, we've done that.
And that can be done. So Donna, what do you think is happening when people lose time? The Zilwaukee Bridge seems to be a place where a few literally can remember going over, but then end up elsewhere with a few hours missing.
Now, I mean, for those of you who don't know, the Zilwaukee Bridge is a bridge on I-75 in the Saginaw area. It used to be in the old days, in the 60s, you would go over it. There was the Saginaw River, and you would have to stop, and the bridge would come up, let the boat through. But they raised it up. So they took that out and raised it way up. And they had problems with it. And it's quite high. It's, I would say, like 4 stories high, 5 stories high, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've not heard that about Zilwaukee Bridge.
I haven't either. I'm not sure, Donna. As far as missing time, I think there's many reasons. I think we hit portals. I think that, there's times that our consciousness is taken. Sometimes we're physically taken. And it could be with the Zilwaukee Bridge. If it's the same people all the time, it might be some sort of a portal ley lines that they are sensitive to. I've been going over that all my life because I'm from Southern Michigan. And always summered up north and then moved up. And RJ is same thing. So I don't know, but now I want to investigate it.
But again, here we're talking about, if you have missing time, you're talking about missing time in the third dimension. But, time is different in different dimensions, different frequencies, different vibrations. And like they say, when you're talking to someone and you think you're really vibrating with them and connecting with them, and you've been talking, you think just for a few minutes and you look at your watch and 5 hours went by,
Yeah.
that's kind of a fifth dimensional. That's how time acts in that dimension.
Yeah.
So
You've experienced that more than once.
right. So yeah, it's different. You know, you just have to,
Yeah.
you can do some research on how time is in different dimensions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could literally go missing for 5 minutes and have all kinds of things happen within that Earth time.
You might have traveled a light year.
Right.
You know?
Time is an illusion, as
Yep.
I like to say. Terry, I've read so many books on experiencers. I understand why they would visit children and follow them into adulthood. My question is, how many, as far as you know, how many adults have these experiences without having been visited at a younger age? That does make sense, and it does happen. It also, it's not uncommon to have somebody have an experience like I did in 2016 that really, there was no denying it. It knocked my socks off. I had quite a bit of missing time and just all kinds of things. Well, then in looking back over my life, I realized I've been experiencing all of my life, literally all of my life, off and on. So I think that is probably more often the case, that people just don't realize what's been going on.
Yeah.
I thought I was crazy as hell.
I mean, you know, I don't want to call it abduction, but these experiences have been going on for a very long time and by many different extraterrestrial races with their own agendas. And it's just part of the way it is. It's just the way the universe is. That's what happens. Someday we will be doing the same thing, I believe. But, you know, is the hybrid situation real? Yes, it's got to be. And are certain people, and when I say certain people, I don't want to say that it's very few. I think very many do experience this phenomenon going on more than you can imagine, and it's just the way it is. It's just a part of life. So, and there's no harm in it, but we fear it, you know, because and they try to make it as minimal as possible. I'm not saying that some experiences weren't traumatic. Because they are, but
and some could be harmful. I mean, we can't say that.
You can't say that, but you know, it's just we've got to start accepting that this is the way things are.
Yeah, we're all part of the one.
Yep.
Have you ever been able to comfort a spirit in distress and sustain that comfort? Yeah. I've been doing, I was born into mediumship, so I've been dealing with spirit all of my life, and I'm 64. I've been doing this, you know, doing it on a more professional level for right around 40 years. And we both do paranormal work where, you know, and our passion is to go into a residential home and help people living and deceased, because sometimes people who are there might be family that just really want to communicate with their family, or, you know, there's so many different scenarios. But yeah, I mean,
especially when children are involved. You know?
Yeah, I do think that we can help spirit, and that's mostly by helping them connect with people who are here. As far as helping spirit to go to the light, no, I absolutely positively do not feel that we do that. That's not our job. There are people on the other side that help with that. They know where they're at. We don't. So yeah, that's not something. I've never ever tried to send someone to the light, or, you know, will I ask for help for them from the other side? Yes.
Yeah, because, you know, I believe our evolution eventually will be in that situation where we will be helping people transcend into different levels where they're supposed to be helping. But they still have to go through this process of realizing that it happened. And if maybe they have some things that they want to, you know, that they want to.
Sorry, I'm reading Timothy's.
That they want to, you know, settle before they move on. that could be it, or have questions about, or something that they just they can't leave without knowing,
Right.
that kind of thing. But people have those jobs. Spirits and entities and souls have those jobs of helping people transcend. So you'll have that job one day.
Right. Oh, good one for RJ. Why am I awakening at 444 every morning? Also, do you think there is something with orbs and UFOs? Two totally separate questions. So, do you want to address the 444?
Well, the 444 is it's an angel number. I don't really deal with angel numbers a lot.
That's true.
But I know the 4 itself is all about focusing, being honest and real with things, and working and staying on the path, and doing what you have to do. So it might be telling you that stay your course, stay on the path, stay focused, and it'll get done. So
one foot in front of another.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yep.
Like you said, keep the focus. And that's, as soon as I saw it, I don't know what the angel number means either. You can look that up though.
Yeah.
And see what the angel number is.
I know the 333 is the masters, and the 222 is the builders, and manifesting, and the 111.
Hi, Dale.
Is all about being awake and aware of your path.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and a lot of times when we continually see certain set of numbers, definitely look it up, because it's trying to. Most people notice that once you become aware of, okay, what that number means, and then you start incorporating that into your life or working it, then you don't see it anymore. So you'll keep seeing it until you're paying attention and doing what you're supposed to do.
But I know, if you do the research, a lot of experiencers do get contacted, usually the same time, in the morning, early morning. I mean, it happens then. We can meet our good friend Michael Carter. He was same thing. He knew, because the time was coming, that they would be there. So
yeah, so it could be ET contact as well. Yeah, numbers are universal, and there's so many different meanings. But yeah, hi Aaron and Patty and Mike. See, it's hard to read this. I feel like we missed something. Did we?
Might have. Oh, but on that question, she talked about our orbs and UFOs connected.
Oh, okay. So where was that?
Back here somewhere.
Up higher?
There it is.
Okay, thank you, Bill. You rock. Also, do you think there is something with orbs and UFOs? Not dust orbs, but yeah. I mean, if you see this big orb in the sky, and RJ can tell you a cool story that happened with us one night, it can definitely be something. Are they ships? Are they entities? I don't know. But you've had more experiences with the orbs than I have.
Yeah, I mean, orbs could be many things.
Yeah.
Balls of energy. They could be spirit. They could also be a drone from a ship that goes out and looks.
Yeah, not our drones, but their drones.
Their drone, that goes out and gathers information. So, and like I said, a lot of different things. They could also be a spirit manifesting, or an ET manifesting. So there's definitely a connection, but not always.
Right.
But there could be a definite connection with them. Sure.
Now I can say, if you're out doing, we do C5 work, and if you're out doing this and you're purposely trying to connect and you're looking to the sky, and you see something, just show up. And sometimes they'll get bigger and then smaller, pulsate, turn different colors, show up, get real big, and then disappear. Then you're dealing with something.
Oh, that's the story you want me to tell.
That's why?
The story you wanted me to tell.
Yeah.
So I think some of you might have heard this before, but we were out doing an investigation in Everett, Michigan at night in this park on the river. And of course, I'm always looking at the sky. It was a beautiful night. And I started talking to the sky. I said, I know you're there. Show us, please show us. And there was 10 of us there. And this little white dot just went, lit us all up and back down. Didn't freak me out at all. I was so thankful. Only 2 people weren't looking directly at it, but they saw the light, and it lit us all up. So that was so cool. And just the same time I asked for it too.
Right. Michael John, hi.
Hi, Michael John.
Good to see you. I hope to see you this weekend.
Yes.
Ready? And I hope Dale's feeling better so he can be there. Now, Donna put something on here about the numerology in 444. Donna, you do a different type of numerology.
Yeah.
What RJ does is a very in-depth. It's actually his brother. It's the Cassett system of numerology.
But I'm curious to see what she says here.
Okay.
Numerology regards 444 as an assurance that one is on the right path in life. It helps clear doubts and encourage perseverance with a current approach or plan. The number 4 pertains to wealth, and when repeated thrice, it is a strong signal of an optimum in financial fortunes, according to the Royal Numerology. Yeah, that's different. I haven't.
It's a different type.
Yeah, I didn't know that was pertaining to wealth.
Yay,
but I know that they, 4s are very hard workers. If you have a 4 number, they keep their nose to the grindstone.
Yeah. So Patty says not dust, but balls of light. And yeah, Patty, I definitely think we do see balls of light, orbs, different color orbs in the sky. So yeah, sometimes I think they use them just to make their presence known, to say hello. And they seem to, come and do something like zigzag or do something really cool to let you know, hey, I'm not a plane. I'm not, any of these other things. And then they'll just
they'll split in 2, they'll split in 3, and come back to 1.
Yeah. So.
Merkabahs, that's also another possibility, Mike. Merkabahs are supposed to be your own spiritual UFO, your own energy UFO that you create. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I'm trying to read what Aaron had to say. We had so much activity at the farmhouse when Andrew and I were there for Halloween. We had flashes, crafts flying, always with Andrea.
Dark lines in the sky. So much activity that it lasted all weekend. That's very cool.
Love it. It's my kind of weekend. Yes. And, I can tell you, and Andrea will tell you the same thing. It doesn't matter where you're at or who you're with. If you're open and you try to connect and you're looking to the sky, you are going to see something.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. They're there. They are there.
And they can hear you. They can hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
That's so cool, RJ. That was similar to my experience. I was driving and blue light ball was alongside my Jeep. At the time, it traveled with me for a mile or so. Cool that it was gone.
Very cool, Patty. So that, absolutely. If it traveled with you and all that. And I'm sure you felt a presence. You felt something. So cool. Alan, my buddy Alan.
Hey, Alan.
A few weeks ago, I had a situation in the middle of the night. I was awakened by a bright light that I can only describe as lightning, but it wasn't. It was the top of my head, and I let out a noise, and my entire body was tingling. I've never experienced that before. Thoughts? Also, love and miss you too. Big time.
It could have been a form of healing going on.
Yeah, it's crazy how sometimes it will affect you physically, The light thing I haven't had happen, but I've had, different things with the tingling in the body, waking up. And I do a lot of, they seem to visit me, the praying mantis type, I think because I love them. They seem to visit off and on. And when they come for some reason, I wake up with, it feels like I have like bubbles in my body. I don't know if that makes any sense either. But yeah, I think that that was most likely some kind of contact. If you had the lightning right at your head, maybe see a doctor. But if you're feeling okay, it's probably good.
Go back down here to Mike. Oh, the other way. Now, Mike Walker, I can be a smart ass sometimes, but the way you read that, it sounds like you had this experience in the future. July 21st, 2023.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you meant 2022, but
that can help. That can happen. We talked about that a little earlier. Okay. So we had 25 minutes to go. I don't know where we're at now.
There's we read that one. That was
that's wild, Ellen. if you have more details on that, we could talk privately about that. That's very interesting. And I think that we get, everybody gets different physical experiences. Sometimes none at all. Like I said, for me, with certain ones, I'll get different things. Sometimes it's only the tingling. Sometimes I just feel so out of body and so far away from my body that I almost go into a panic. Like I need to reconnect.
Yeah. Let's be clear. This is all individual experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yours doesn't have to be like somebody else's. It's your own experience. So for your own reasons, your own growth.
I'm curious. The noise, you said you let out a noise. Was that noise? Did it sound like your own voice? And did you feel you had control over that noise or no? Hi, Tammy. We miss you. Okay. Kathy and Jonathan. Great people here tonight. We're so blessed. So blessed.
Yeah, so everybody's experiences, like I said, they're for you. They're individual and they're for yourself. And
Alan, I love that. Okay, no, it came from me, but not something I recognized.
That's important.
And I wondered that for a reason, because that I have had happen. I knew it was my vocal cords and everything, but I didn't have control.
Okay.
So, hi, Dan.
Mr. Mackin.
I know how you knew we were on the air tonight. It's good to see you here. If you have any questions.
How did you know?
Because I posted on Mapic. The only thing you read.
Okay.
Dan is actually a team member.
Yeah, we may have him
the
on
founder
next
of Mapit, Michigan Area Paranormal Investigative Team
out of Traverse City, Michigan.
Yep. So, and the following week, this weekend we'll be in Dundee. The following week is the Mystical Retreat weekend at the Lakeside Resort and Conference Center. I have that posted on Facebook, and it's an all-weekend event, all kinds of happenings, lots of speakers. Really fun weekend. I do these twice a year, and it's always awesome.
And where's it at?
It is at the Lakeside Resort and Conference Center in Houghton Lake, Michigan. And if you want to call to inquire about getting a weekend package, the number is 989-422-4000. 989-422-4000. Have you known spirit to mimic a loved one while they're in the same house with you. Once in the shower, heard mom talking through the door. I told her I couldn't understand her after I got out. She said she hadn't so much as talked to the dogs. Yes, I have had that happen. And to me, it's creepy. And to me, if they're going to mimic a living loved one, they're probably up to no good. And somewhat negative in nature. Doesn't mean demon, but could be just.
Or could be like, watch this, and
Could
do
like,
it. Yeah, look, say, watch this. I'm gonna act like so and so.
Yeah, I one time had my daughter's voice. There was banging on my back door, and her voice kept saying, "Mom, let me in! Mom, let me in!" And I got up and I ran to the door, and she was nowhere around. I had a long driveway. She was not in the driveway. So I called her, and she was home. And yeah, I had some work to do. So yeah, they can mimic.
Oh, yeah, still. Dreaming is definitely, I have the dreams too. Same dreams. I've had them all my life.
Yeah. Yeah, those aren't dreams. They're definitely experiences.
Yep.
They can visit us because it's easier. Same with spirit contact. It's always easier for them to visit us in a dream state or in the theta state where we are more on a spiritual realm. So, yeah, we both get lots of dreams or experiences, visitations.
Yeah, in the dream state.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, we'll have to talk about that too. Yeah, and to have missing time in a sleep state, you don't even know it, but it's also common. You're so welcome, Dale. So welcome. Deb, I'm looking forward to it too. I'm so glad. We have 4 people that we know of coming from Canada to the Mystical Retreat weekend. So I'm very honored that all of you are coming, Deb and Rob and Dale and Michael John. Yay, super excited. Yeah, spirits can definitely be tricksters, and so can everything else out there. Have you heard of or seen paranormal activity in Houghton Lake? Oh my God. When I moved to Houghton Lake, I was blown away because, well, I've been here, 17, going on 20 years. And when I moved here, I was already, of course, very heavily into the paranormal field. And once word got out that I do what I do, my phone went crazy. And I could not believe how many investigations had definite activity in this area.
Honey, our house
has
poltergeist activity
daily.
Well, almost, yes.
Yeah.
And we could tell you some stories. So yeah, we're used to it. It's nothing bad, but there's all kinds of stuff going on around in this town.
Yeah. So Diana, if you live in the area, absolutely tons and tons. And we do have 2 ley lines that cross right here, and we have the lake, the biggest inland lake in Michigan. So we have the water with the ley lines, and used to be an old logging town, so there was a lot of hanky panky, and yeah, it's very, very active here.
Daniel, what do you think is a good way to facilitate more dream contact with aliens? I try using different music and tones. That's one way.
Yeah.
In my experiences, I wasn't trying to do anything, but I still have the same dream where, they let me know they're coming, and I'm trying to tell people they're coming, and all of a sudden they show up hundreds in the sky, and it's. I think they're showing me a future thing that was going on. I've had other ones too, but yeah, sure, you can You can control your dreams for sure. If you there there is a book called The Art of Dreaming by Carlos Castaneda, and the Toltecs learned how to control their dreams in their dream state. So yeah, for sure. And music is one way. Frequencies, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, learning the whole lucid dreaming. Also being open. And Daniel, I know you know how to do that. Like when we do the meditations for CE5, and we're opening up and connecting our consciousness with the consciousness of the whole. If you do that before you go to sleep, you're definitely more open. And that's also letting them know, I'm ready. I'd like to make contact. So yeah, and then sometimes you don't do anything at all, and it scares the crap out of you. That's kind of how
Hopefully,
that
a
goes.
porcupine won't show up in your dreams.
Yeah.
That's a private joke we have, though.
Yeah. We live in an old graveyard. Activity is crazy sometimes, and we found out there's ley line. Yeah, and ley lines have a lot to do with hauntings.
Dimensional energy.
Yeah. What is your opinion that all paranormal activity may actually be connected, whether we're dealing with ETs, interdimensional beings, cryptids, or divine? My opinion is that everything is connected.
Mm-hmm.
Normal, paranormal, and oftentimes when people think, oh, I'm going to investigate this haunted house, they get voices through that are not human voices.
Yeah. Or
things happen, or they get phrases like our team has gotten phrases about the ship. I really feel it's all connected. That's my opinion.
And that people seeing Sasquatch and Bigfoot, they see UFOs around. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, like you said, when you're investigating for spirit, you get a recording that may be extraterrestrial. So yeah, I think it's all connected for sure. Everything's connected.
Yeah, and there's so many other dimensions that the human eye sees very, very little of what reality really is, and our brain can only take in very little.
I think about 32%.
Yeah,
of light
and
spectrum.
I think the eye is even less than that. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much out there that we don't see and that we don't really comprehend. But it's all here, in my opinion. So
yeah, if think about it, if you're in a physical body and all of a sudden,
producer Bill.
Yeah, if you can just see everything at once, I don't think your body can handle it. So I think there's limits to what frequency you're on, where you're vibrating, how solid you are. If you're more of a spirit form or higher dimensional being, you can see more in the other light spectrums, the gamma spectrums, the infrared, everything, so.
Yeah. Well, and, if you think about all of the ET species who believe that, they adhere to the law of one, and that is basically everything is connected. We are all a part of that universal web. And so in saying that, what's the difference between Dogman, Bigfoot, ETs, the spirit of a grandmother, or a living human? I mean, we're all connected. We're all a part of that web. So is it intertwined? Absolutely. I think there is a fear narrative that is being used to possibly create a false flag scenario to control the masses. Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I do. And there's some who say they're all evil and they're ready to come in and just wipe us out. And then there's some that say, oh, they're all loving and they're all going to save us. And I don't believe either. I think, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. There's light and dark on both sides. But yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, if a race is a few thousand, a few million, could be a few billion years advanced. Uh, I would think that they were advanced enough to know that they're just not going to go wipe out people on planets. Why would they do that? So we see movies like 4th of July and War of the Worlds and stuff like that. I think it's a fear, trying to create fear, and unfortunately it works. But
Right.
yeah, but why would they? I mean, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want it to succeed and evolve? I mean, doesn't that make sense? Yeah, they have to do it in a certain way and certain laws and follow certain things because everybody's not there yet. Everybody's not ready to accept something like that. And I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But, as far as, creating fear, they're good at that in everything because fear keeps us away from knowledge, and knowledge is power. And as far as disclosure goes, everybody says, well, our government's not telling us what's going on. Folks, it might not be the government. It might be them saying, we'll let you know when you're going to let everybody know because it'd be dangerous to tell everybody at once.
Right.
So we had to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many theories out there. It's really hard to say. All I know is, I'm one of those people, I don't read a lot. I mean, I read enough, but I don't put stock and faith into everything I read. I read things and then I go within. It's like, okay, how does that feel to me? It's off. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. So, take with a grain of salt what you say or what you hear and what you read. Even what we say, research for yourself. I wonder why they wouldn't want to heal those who are sick since they obviously have the technology.
Well, honey, there's a book on that they've been doing that. It's not, like I said, there's certain laws out there. They just can't step in and just take control. But there's been a lot of healing documentations from a lot of people that they've been cured from extraterrestrial technology. So, and there's a lot of people on this planet that don't want it to be here. Think about it.
Right.
The medical field is a money-making deal, So, there's a lot to it.
Travis Walton made that claim about the healing. Is that what you mean? And I feel personally that I have had
Yes.
healing from them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Travis Walton, he went through an awful lot. When I was a child, I had an experience at our Lady right down the road, Lady of the Lake Church. The wall palpitated inside the confessional. What are your thoughts on this? Have you heard of any other occurrences there? I've heard bits and pieces from there. I've never investigated. I've only been in those doors a few times, very briefly. So, I can't really say it's haunted or not haunted. But I've had people tell me that they have, been walking down the hall and had a sister show up in front of them that wasn't there, that things have moved, that they felt very dark presences. I don't even want to get into some of the stories I've heard from there, but yes, I mean, I've heard things. Can I say that they're true? I can't, because I have not investigated there. And I'm pretty sure they'll never ask us to investigate. So,
yeah, Mad Max. Happened. Yeah, Mad Max says universal laws of non-intervention. Yeah, I mean, as we evolve, and I'm telling you what, they're not going to let us off this planet if we're the way we are now. If we were just all about weapons and killing each other, they're keeping an eye on us for sure. But if we can evolve beyond this, once you get out in that universe, multiverse, the laws are much more stricter and much more delicate and what you can and cannot do because you're more knowledgeable and you have the
Right.
technology to do it. So
Right. And therefore they have a responsibility.
exactly.
And, the law of one, they also respect. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's so many
We've got to get there,
variables to
folks.
that.
We've got to get there.
Yeah. We really need to step up our game on this planet
Yeah.
if we want to be a part of what's going on. If Earthlings don't get it right themselves, they never will.
Well, yeah.
Some of us are really trying, and
and Mad Max, it's not really all our fault because we are controlled by a lot of different things and we're taught a lot of different things that, this is the way it is and it really isn't. So we have to experience those things, but it is up to us. And like I believe we've came here to try to raise those vibrations. A lot of us have, and we have to learn that we've got to change the system, and that's what our job is. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And so it's it's a process. It's a process.
Yeah. Yep. And we all have to work on it together.
Yep.
And unity is not abundant on this planet at the moment. So I have discussed with you before the bright blue ball of fire I saw while camping. Yes, very early morning, still dark. Should I look into any certain species of ET as far as research goes to dig a little deeper? Blue is always associated with Pleiadians, right? But,
yes, there is information out there that will tell you that certain extraterrestrial species do have certain color chips. I'm not familiar with a lot of them, but there is information out there. You could probably Google it. I don't know, but I think blue's okay. Yeah, I think from whatever I remember, blue's okay.
When I see blue, I always associate with healing.
Yeah.
So I would think it would be a good thing, look into it maybe.
But do I know for a fact all Pleiadians are good? I don't know.
No.
I don't know that.
I don't think any being is all good.
Yeah.
That's me.
And I'm not saying they're super bad. I'm just saying, they might have their own self-interest.
So I think we're getting close to time here. Down to 2 minutes. So I saw something by Tammy about indigos. Yes, absolutely. Are you one? I believe so, 1,000%, Tammy. So we're down to only a few minutes.
Yeah.
So everybody get your tickets. Come to Dundee. It's all day Saturday. It starts at 9 a.m. We speak at 10. It goes until, I think, 6. And then there's an event, the VIP event afterwards until about 11:30. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah,
So
a lot of cool people.
Come see us. And again, next weekend, we will be at the Lakeside Resort and Conference Center for the Mystical Retreat weekend.
Did we mention Ballinger?
Oh.
No, we didn't.
No. Jeff, is it Ballinger or Ballinger?
Ballinger. Huh?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm always confused on how to say his name, but he'll be there too.
We're horrible with names. We don't even know our own
But
names.
he's always there. So anybody that comes all the time has seen him and loves him anyway. What do we need to cover? You're so welcome. I look forward to seeing all of you, or as many as possible, this weekend in Dundee, Michigan. If you don't know where it's at, Google Map it. Aaron, thank you for being here. Yeah, it's great to see you too. I hope everybody in Florida, I saw you're safe from the hurricane. Thank goodness. I know Annie's away from Florida. Thank goodness. And I hope everybody else is safe. So big healing and prayers and, asking the ETs to help you all out there.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Love all you guys. And it's been great as usual. And until next time, what?
Well, everybody have a fantastic week. Come see us this weekend. And until we meet again, may all of your awakenings be mystical.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We love you.